Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our lead story of the day is regarding yesterday's White House press briefing that was all about the second set of classified documents that were found in Joe Biden's garage. Now, I've covered almost every single briefing for the last 2 years. This one by far takes the cake. This is the most insane briefing I have ever seen. We catch her in a lie. The reporters catch her in a lie. We got 8 clips for y'all today. Buckle up because this one is a doozy. As always, support us by hitting that like and subscribe button. Leaving us a short, sweet comment down below. YouTube does want to see you interacting with the channel. It really does help support the show and pushes our video out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. And also, double check to make sure YouTube didn't go into your profile and change that bell notification icon to say personalized. It should say all notifications. So just change that for us and make sure it is current and up to date. And you'll be set being notified whenever we upload or go live. So your support and help would be greatly appreciated. Well, to kick this off, we're going to catch her in a lie right off the bat, you guys. We got this reporter kicking off the briefing, talking about the second set of classified documents that were found in Joe Biden's garage. He goes a little bit quick here, so I need to kind of set you up with what's taking place and kind of what was the lie. So yesterday we covered the briefing as well that was about the first set of classified documents that were found in his office. Now, they knew about the second set of classified documents during that briefing, and they neglected to tell anybody about it whatsoever. And now they're all questioning her on it. And boy, oh boy, is this one a doozy, just kicking it off. And like I said, we got a lot packaged for you in today, folks. Get that coffee, get that breakfast, because we're in for the long haul. Let's go ahead and roll it.
So a few questions about the classified documents. First off, is the president willing to be interviewed by federal investigators about his handling of classified documents?
So first, let me just say I'm just not going to get into hypotheticals. This is something for the Department of.
Not a hypothetical question. There's an investigation ongoing. Will the president speak to investigators?
It's in ongoing review, right? You're asking me about something in the future, and I am telling you that I'm not going to get ahead of what the Department of Justice is going to decide. Look, I want to reiterate what you heard from the president today. It is important for the American people to know this. Is that the president has said he takes classified documents and information very seriously. This is something, as you all know, that he will not shy away from saying, and has continued to say this week.
You guys, you can't say that you're taking or you do take classified material seriously when they were in your garage. It's like Trump coming out and going, I take it super seriously. These are the most classified things that's ever walked the face of this earth. It's so serious. Okay, it's like nuclear serious. And then they find him in his sock drawer. All right, you're not taking things seriously if they're in your sock drawer or your freaking garage. All right, don't give us this crap. So the lying's already starting right off the bat.
And again, he was surprised that these records have been found. He does not know what's in them. And his team, once they identified that these documents were there, they immediately reached out to the archives, to the Department of Justice, and did the right thing by turning that over. And they have been cooperating very closely with the Department of Justice. You actually heard AG, Attorney General Garland, say today that they heard from his team really shortly after the discovery. And so, I just want to make sure that this is understood, that he takes this very seriously.
So speaking of him taking this seriously, this is the kind of thing that can cause government employees to lose a security clearance. This is a serious matter, as the White House has said. Was the president sloppy in his handling of classified material if there are multiple locations where classified documents are being found?
Look, I said it in the statement. It's in the statement from his lawyer, Richard Sauber. And at the end, he said, we are confident that a thorough review will show that these documents were inadvertently misplaced. And the president and his lawyers acted promptly upon discovery of this mistake. I'm going to leave it there. That's what his lawyer said. But again, this is something that the president takes very seriously, and we have been coordinating. They have been coordinating. His lawyers have been coordinating very closely with the Department of Justice.
The last thing is, the initial statement from the White House came out on Monday. The president addressed this on Tuesday in Mexico City. All the conversation was about the documents in the office. However, according to the Attorney General, documents were found on December 20th in his garage in Wilmington. Why was that not immediately addressed? Is the White House being transparent about that if that was already known and not discussed up front?
So you said transparent. I want to say that we have been transparent here. That is why the minute that his lawyers found those documents, they reported it. They reached out to the archives and the Department of Justice, and they did that voluntarily. and they were not compelled to do it. They did it voluntarily. Now, I want to step back a little bit as you're asking me about the timeline. Look, the lawyer said we have been working closely with the Department of Justice and coordinating a search that was still ongoing to ensure any additional documents were in the proper possession of the government. After that search, after the search concluded last night, we released a statement disclosing the facts from that search, as you all know, this morning. This is all part of the Justice Department process, and you heard the Attorney General speak to this today. So we are being very careful to be fully cooperative with the Department of Justice and providing details as appropriate as part of that process.
So why did you fully describe the documents when we were firstly asked this week?
Because, and I actually answered that question. I said because there was a process happening that was currently ongoing, and I'll refer you back to my comments that I made just yesterday. Go ahead, Mary.
So we're going to catch her in her lie. We're going to go right to her comments she was talking about yesterday because, again, he's talking about this rather quickly, but they knew about both set of documents back in December. And here we are mid-January, and, no mention of it during the other press briefing. And she was asked about it. She was asked about it from this reporter going, hey, is there anywhere else that there could be any documents? So she gives this answer here, and just watch what she says. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Thanks, Karine. Just to follow up on Franco's question, given the position you're holding right now, there are no assurances you can provide at this point that there are no other classified documents out there in any other office and or home.
Again, this is an ongoing process, so I'm going to let the process continue. It is being reviewed by the Department of Justice, and I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay, and she really does just leave it there. By the way, you just heard her say, oh, we are being transparent. No, you're not. You guys knew about 2 sets of classified documents for over a month, and you didn't notify the American public whatsoever. And then when you asked a question on a prior briefing, you lied about it as well. And you didn't say, oh, actually there is other documents that were found. You withheld it, you covered it up, and you lied about it. And folks, a lot of this comes to fruition because reporters ask later on, hey, did the DOJ tell you not to say anything? Is this trying to be covered up? Folks, I'm telling you, you got to just buckle up today. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot happening that we got to expose because this one is nuts. Support us by hitting the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Here's the same reporter that you just heard ask, hey, are there any documents that are out there in the ether that we should know about? And she just goes, oh, well, I'll refer you to this or that. Here's that reporter in the most current press briefing going, I'm a little confused about what happened yesterday. You had an opportunity to tell us and you didn't. Let's hear it.
And then I just want to square something that Chris was asking about. The review was underway when you guys gave a detailed statement about the first set of documents. The review was underway when the president spoke about the first set of documents. You're now saying that you didn't talk about the second set of documents discovered almost a month prior because a review was underway. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
the review was underway the entire time. The only difference was that reporters had information on the first set of documents, and therefore you chose to exclude the second set of documents until reporters got information on the second set of documents.
Well, let me unconfuse you for a second, Phil. Look, we are trying to do this by the book. And I said yesterday this was under review by the Department of Justice, and the process is as such. When the president's lawyers realized that the documents existed, that they were there, they reached out to the archives. They reached out to the Department of Justice. Rightfully so, may I add. That is what you're supposed to do as lawyers. That's what they did. And they have fully been cooperating with the Department of Justice. And again, I said this earlier in answering a question you heard from the Attorney General. He said shortly after the documents were discovered, that we did outreach. The president's lawyers did outreach to the Department of Justice and archivists.
Nobody's questioning that. That's not what we're asking about. We're asking about.
I'm telling you that there's a process. I just laid out what the process is, and I'm
about
telling
the
you that
public
we
process
were
of-
trying to do this by the book, and it was an ongoing process. I'm not going to get beyond that, but that is how this works.
How can you say this was transparent?
So that guy goes, can you say it's transparent when you've known about this for like 2 months? Which is 100% true. They've known about this for a while. And what you're going to see, so this all took place at the beginning of the press briefing. And so you went from that guy saying, look, you knew about these documents, to her saying that she was transparent. Now she gets caught here by a second reporter saying, look, you basically just lied to us, or you're withholding information from us when we gave you an opportunity to tell us the truth, and now you're lying. Now all of them are perked up. All these reporters in this room, you guys, are set and ready to go. Now they're pissed because they got lied to, and nobody wants to be lied to. Oh boy, folks. So we got another reporter here acknowledging the fact that they were lied to, the transparency issue of it all. Let's continue with it.
Thank you, Karine.
Thank you.
We are seeking information, and I appreciate and understand why the press office can only say so much. So help us understand this. Who are the president's personal counsel that the Attorney General referred to today?
I was asked that question earlier. Let me get back to you. I actually don't have that answer. I think I know who it is, but I want to make 100% clear.
Bob Bauer is one, potentially Dana Remus, James Garland, Robert Lennon. Are they the ones that have been contacting the Justice Department?
Look, again, I don't want to, I want to say the right thing from here, so I would have to talk to the White House counsel, or you would have to reach out to the White House counsel to talk about who is his personal lawyers.
And to button this up, the first set of documents were found in November at the Penn Biden Center here in Washington. But why did it take until yesterday and until this morning, apparently, for whoever it was to inform Robert Lausch that that final document was found? Was that because there were press reports earlier this week?
Again,
And the hope was that nobody would find out?
Again,
or was it because
there is a process, an ongoing process that is occurring. We did this by the book. And what I mean by that is the moment that the lawyers discovered that the papers were there or the documents were there, they reached out to the archives, they reached out to the Department of Justice, and they immediately, rightfully so, reached out to them to let them know what they had discovered. And that is the process. That is what that is what his lawyers did. Again, it's an ongoing process. As you stated in your question, I am limited in what I can say. It is now in the hands of the Department of Justice. They are reviewing this. As you know, the special counsel was announced by the Attorney General, and so I will leave it there.
What was the president trying to say when he referenced his Corvette earlier today? Because it sounded like he was implying that because his garage is a safe place for his car, the documents were safe. And
I want to pause it there because I haven't shown you that clip yet. Peter Doocy engaged with the president, and we do have a clip of that towards a later segment when Peter Doocy asks his question. We'll set it up with his question towards the president. The president basically was referring to his garage, and his garage was safe because his Corvette was in the garage as well. Thus, because his Corvette is safe, the classified documents that are basically supposed to be in a skiff are safe as well. It's an idiotic argument, just nonetheless. But, you know, that's kind of what Ed here is referring to. And now let's see what Karine has to say to it.
And therefore, if it was safe for the car, it was safe for the documents. Is that what he meant?
Look, I'm going to just leave his statement as is. I think your colleague was having a back and forth with the president. You can read the transcript of what was asked of him and why he responded that way. I'm just not going to get into specifics.
And you talk about we are being transparent. Who's we, and what is the definition of transparent in this case? Is it the lawyers being transparent legally with the archives and the Justice Department, or is it the White House writ large being transparent with the general public?
So number one, and I've said this multiple times already, we take this very seriously. The president takes this very seriously. He was not aware that the records were there. He does not know what is in the documents. Again.
Listen with your ears, lady. That wasn't the question. What's your definition of transparency, you idiot? This lady thinks we're all morons. This White House thinks we're all morons, and we've all had enough of this crap, including the press. We're not morons. We can see what you're doing. We're not dumb. So stop playing like we are dumb. I watch every single press briefing, and you act like we're idiots, like we can't tell that you're dodging or spinning the thing. My viewers see it. They comment on you, Karine. They know when you're lying. We're not stupid, so stop it. We're not morons. Answer the man's question. That's why he was pissed off at you yesterday, because you didn't answer his question. Oh, well, we're pretty good colleagues. No, you're not. You lie to your colleagues. Who the hell lies to their coworkers and colleagues and spins it and manipulates them and withholds information from them? You don't work well with Ed. Ed, if you watch this, don't believe that crap. Because there are reporters in that room that watch this show. Don't believe that crap for 1 minute. You might work well with her, but she didn't give a damn to on answering your questions, man, ever. Nor anybody in that room. Anybody. And it's so old. She needs to be fired, man. I'm so tired of it.
Classified information, classified documents, he takes very seriously. When they were discovered, and this is the right thing to do, right? His lawyers reached out immediately to the archivist. They reached out to Department of Justice to let them know that the papers or the documents
The
assistant.
archivist or the Justice Department? Because the Attorney General this morning said that the attorneys reached out to the archives. It was only later in December, when the second batch was apparently found, that then they were reaching out to the Justice Department.
I will leave it to what the Department of Justice is laying out. What we are saying that we reached out to the archivist, we reached out to the Department of Justice. That is what is the right thing to do in this case. And not, and so I can finish here. What has been transparent in this as well is that the White House counsel has laid out in detail on Monday to all of you.
Not everything, Karine, and you know that.
First of all, I can't talk about this, right? Because it is, the Department of Justice is reviewing it. There is a review happening, Ed, right? You know this. We just heard from the Attorney General. There is a review. I am limited in what I can say to this.
Could Richard Sauer perhaps come here?
I think you should reach out to the White House counsel.
We're reaching out on a constant basis,
Okay,
but why not have them come here to the
I am
room
saying
take
to you
questions?
that we have put out lengthy statements, and you can reach out to them, as you all have been doing, and I will leave it there. Go ahead.
She's going to leave it there. And it's a great question by Ed. Bring the guys out here. Have the counsel up there. You know, everybody else gets chauffeured out there. John Kirby was up on the stage right before she was. Why can't you bring the counsel? Why can't you bring the lawyers up there and get their questions answered? Why? Because you're covering up, Karine. You're not transparent whatsoever. They're going to tell you they're the most transparent administration that's ever walked the face of this earth, that's ever been in the United States, whatever they want to phrase it at. Bull crap. Bull crap. You're covering this whole thing up. You lied to everybody yesterday. You lied to me. You lied to everybody that follows the Bald Bradshaw. You lied to all the Americans out there. And now you're being caught red-handed. Well, I'm tight-lipped on this. I can't get into specifics, but let me be clear about this. You know, we take it seriously. The president takes it seriously, even though he had freaking classified documents in his garage. But he's going to take it seriously. Second set of classified documents. Who the hell knows if there's more, you guys? The dude doesn't even know what's in them, right? He doesn't even remember yesterday. So of course he doesn't know what's in them. He probably did at one point. But for the love of God, she's going to continue with this lying and this charade. And it gets worse, you guys. Believe it or not, it gets worse. Let's continue.
To go back to something we were trying to pin down yesterday, can you tell us today, when did the president find out initially about that first batch of documents and then the second batch? Our reporting says he was told on November 2nd. Is that true?
So what I can say to you,
folks, watch this answer here. The president knew. She knew. The White House knew about the second set of classified documents and these documents before the midterms. And they told nobody about it. They withheld this information. If Trump did that or Republican did that, can you imagine the news waves? Can you imagine what's going on, the handling of it? Treason. He needs to be out 25th. Impeach the guy. He's not fit to hold office. But you have Joe Biden here, a guy that has dementia, that doesn't know that he left classified documents in a garage or in an office or what they say. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's happening. He was talking to a freaking guy that he thought was the Secret Service, but the guy works for the Salvation Army. I mean, it's time and time again. And it's just unbelievable the reporting that happens with all this. So they're going to go hard on Trump. But then Joe Biden, well, he's demented, he's deranged, you know, we'll just let him go. He poo-poos his pants every once in a while. Of course he doesn't know about this stuff. So she's going to continue the charade here. Just watch her answer. Just watch it.
is that the president has been kept informed by his counsel throughout this process. I don't have a specific date, but I can tell you that the president was kept informed throughout. Don't have a timeline to share for you right now. Again, this is under ongoing review, and so want to be careful and prudent on what I share here at the podium.
When the search started and why they were searching in the first place, was the president concerned that there may be classified documents? Did someone tip them off? What sparked this?
Again, I'm just not going to go into details from here. I'm not going to go into specifics from here. This is undergoing. This review is continuing. It's ongoing.
You can't say you're being transparent. You can't say you're being clear. You can't say all those things while at the same time saying you're being transparent, you're being clear. You can't do both. You can't. You just can't. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why Ed asked you, what the hell is your definition of transparency? Everybody's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Mass cover up, folks. Mass cover up. Wait till we get to what Peter Doocy's calling this. You're going to love it.
I would refer you to Department of Justice.
You have said repeatedly, the president has said he takes classified documents very seriously. If that's the case, why were these classified documents being stored in his garage?
Look, again, and not just me, he has said this. You have heard the president say this twice already, and he's said this before, classified documents and information. He takes that very seriously. And you see,
the garage is an appropriate place to store classified material.
I'm not going to go into what he thinks or how he feels about what is currently happening. What I can say for sure,
That's your job. That's actually the title of your job. What are the president's thoughts on this? What does the president say about this? That's like literally the definition of her job description. She's the mouthpiece for him. That's why he's not up there and she is. What? I'm just not going to do my job. You might as well just have said that. You might as well have just had those words come out of your mouth. I'm not going to do my job today or ever and answer any of your questions. And I'm going to give a generic statement, a blanket statement for all of you, because the more generic it is, the more that I can be caught for not lying. Unfreaking believable. I'm telling you, this is the most insane one I've ever seen. It is by far. It's so nuts.
when it comes to this specific issue about classified documents, about classified information, he takes that very seriously. He did not know, right? He did not know the records were there. He was surprised that the records were there. So let's be very clear. That is something that the president shared with all of you on the world stage and also recently today. And so what occurred was, as I've said multiple times before, is when his team identified that these records existed, they handed them over to the archivist and also the Department of Justice.
Just one more, Karine. Sure. Do you acknowledge that the fact that the White House did not reveal this to the public, despite the fact that you've known about it for months, undercuts the president's promise of being transparent with the American people?
But here's the thing: they were transparent. There was transparency in doing what you're supposed to do when these items were discovered.
Not with the American people.
Look, I am here standing in front of you answering these questions. Right? The president took two questions.
You guys, it's insane. That's the best word I have for it. It's so nuts. It is mind-bending. And here's the thing. His dementia plays into all this. And it almost wonder, I mean, there's a conspiracy theory out there that, in fact, he's not actually demented and he's not really just a pootering, doddering old man that he's just playing into, because there's so much crap about this guy that has yet to come out that if he plays into going, "What's my name? I poo-pooed. Somebody clean it up." Like, he's so deranged that everyone's gonna be like, yeah, of course he wouldn't know about classified documents in his garage. He completely forgot about it. He doesn't know his wife's name. He doesn't know her name. He doesn't know anybody else's name. He doesn't know he's president. That's why he calls Kamala Harris president. He doesn't know anything. So it plays into his hand actually as a benefit because he can't recall. So there is a conspiracy theory out there that there's so much corruption under the Biden family and the Biden name that literally it plays into his hand legally. And maybe that's what we're seeing here as well. That finally it's all coming out. It's all coming to fruition in the last 2 years because it was all covered up by the left. And now it's coming out, and hey, it's playing into his hand just perfectly. Well, finally, we're getting into the Peter Doocy stuff, and I'll have to move this down here for you all so you can see at least somewhat. Peter Doocy engages with Joe Biden here about those documents in his garage with his Corvette, and then we'll get into Peter Doocy's question at the White House press briefing. You're going to love it, folks. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's see Peter Doocy do his work, the gladiator.
Mr. President,
Okay.
classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
Let me, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage, okay? So it's not like you're sitting out in the street.
So
But at any rate,
was in a locked garage.
yes, as well as my Corvette. But as I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified material seriously.
This is the same guy that was on tape ripping Trump for having classified material at Mar-a-Lago when it was raided by the FBI. Where's the FBI in all this? Why are they not raiding every single little bit? Hunter Biden, his whole family. Why are they not going after Joe Biden and his family? Why are they only going after Trump? Why were they rifling through Melania Trump's stuff, but not his wife, not Hunter Biden, who's known to do some crazy stuff, have some crazy business dealings across the world with shady people? Where's the FBI? Where's Merrick Garland? Where's the DOJ? Everybody's just coming out full foot, full force, on tape, raiding every single place this guy has. They're not going to do it. Why? Because the freaking DOJ, the FBI are all in bed with the Democrat Party. That's why, you guys. Let's let the knucklehead finish.
I also said we're cooperating fully and completely with the Justice Department's review. As part of that process, my lawyers reviewed other places where documents from my time as vice president were stored, and they finished the review last night. They discovered a small number of documents of classified markings in storage areas and file cabinets in my home and my personal library. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn Center. The Department of Justice was immediately, as was done, the Department of Justice was immediately notified, and the lawyers arranged for the Department of Justice to take possession of the document.
Jesus, dude, can you not read from a piece of paper? That's probably the same piece of paper, folks, that tells them, you know, to breathe, take a seat, where to sit properly, and all those other things. The dude's trying to figure it out. And again, there's still people out there, part of the Democrat Party, that still think this guy is, you know, it just all has to do with a stuttering problem. They still don't read in the fact that he's demented and he actually doesn't know what the hell is going on, and he's being chauffeured around on a gurney just to try and, you know, be a puppet out there for who the hell knows who's actually running the country. So here's Peter Doocy's question. I love the way he's doing this stuff. Do you notice he's going, what's wrong with you? You know, that's not how Peter Doocy normally talks. He's playing into their shenanigans. He's playing into the drama of it all. It's theatrics, you guys. He's playing into the clown show. Peter Doocy's very, very smart and crafty in how he's doing this all. If you notice the way, again, he's presenting his questions, his tone is way different. Before he used to go hardball, kind of like how I talk. Now he's like, what are you thinking? You know, just treating them like they're stupid and they're idiots. I love it. I love it. Well, here's his question.
Thank you, Karine. Another one on GarageGate. What is the White House trying to hide?
Nothing.
Someone gave the president a statement to read on Tuesday that was incomplete at best, misleading at worst. Who?
So I have read out the president's statement. I have read it out yesterday and what he said. He said that he respects, or he takes classified information and documents very seriously. That's what he said. He said that he did not know that the records were there. He does not know what's in them. He said that. You heard from him directly on this. And his team has been cooperating fully. And not only that, again, I'll say this, the Attorney General said this himself, that he heard from the team shortly after. So we have laid out
What the hell? And folks, if you're new to the show, I'm just looking for the answer to the question that Peter Doocy asked, because it wasn't there whatsoever. I didn't know if you guys saw it or heard it. I was looking for it. I was listening for it. I didn't hear it. She's still rambling. It's just nothing but diarrhea coming out of her mouth. It's caca mouth, right? It's nothing. It's meaningless. It smells like crap. It is crap. There's a lot of stuff, shady business going on behind this administration, folks. Just what else is going to come out that we don't know about? But let's listen to her ramble, just like her boss, trying to figure out what's going to come up next out of her brain. That's the bunch of nonsense.
What has occurred here, you've heard from the White House counsel. I just read the statement from his lawyer. And again, we take this very seriously, and the president does as well.
When will the White House release a log of visitors to the Wilmington house?
Peter, you've asked this question, or your colleagues have asked this question before. Let's not forget what we did here in this White House. We instituted something that the last administration got rid of, which is putting out the White House, making sure that there was a White House log, extensive White House log, so the American people got to see.
You guys, she's talking about the log in the White House. We're not talking about the log in the White House right now. We're talking about the log for his home, okay? Those that have visited his home to see who had the potential of seeing these classified documents. Maybe it was Hunter, okay? There's a lot that goes into this, you guys. I'm telling you, this is a mega story here. That's why we're spending so much time on it today, right? We're about 30 minutes into the show. Normally the show's only 20 minutes or less. This is so big, it's head spinning. And she's not going to answer anything here. She's going to blame it on the Trump administration. Well, we don't have logs because of them. God. Blame the Trump administration. That's what it's come to. Blame Orange bad man, because we don't like him.
where there is potentially unsecured
well,
classified material.
Again, I am telling you, we did something that the last administration got rid of, which is instituting the White House logs. Did you ask the last administration why they got rid of the White House logs?
I was a campaign
Okay,
reporter
let's go.
covering Joe
Let's go.
Biden in Wilmington.
Well,
We
did
don't
Fox
know who
did?
had
Go ahead.
access.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I've been asked about it before, Peter. You see how quickly she moves on there? You guys, who got their hands on some documents here? Why? Hunter Biden works with China, you guys. Joe Biden's in bed with China. We've said it. You all know it. You all know it. He literally gave our oil reserves to China in the same province that they freaking had business dealings with, meaning Hunter Biden. The Hunter Biden laptop story's still there. Where is everybody at on this? Where's the DOJ? Where's the FBI grinding hard into this? You guys, there's so much cover up that has come out in 2022 and 2023. It hasn't been 2 weeks into January, and we're told about this, and we weren't told about it last year before the midterms that could have swung things for people. The fact that they ripped Trump and Mar-a-Lago for all this stuff. He's a treasonous. He's not fit to hold office. All these things, and now they're going to pull this stuff on us, and then they're not going to tell us the truth. They're going to withhold information and then tell us that they're all being transparent. It's unbelievable, you guys. We're not done yet. We got one more clip. We got our boy from Real Clear Politics, Phil Wegmann, and God, I love this guy. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, because if you notice in the first few segments, and this is why he's great, you guys, this guy, he's one of the best at his job. He's up there easily with Peter Doocy, is because Peter Doocy attacks it from one angle. He listens to everybody's questions. Philip Wegmann here, again, of Real Clear Politics. Go read his articles. Give him some love. The man's awesome. He sits there and he listens to what everybody's questions are and sees that their questions aren't being answered, so he tackles it from a different angle. She keeps talking about these processes. We're going through the process. We're going through this. We're going through that. What does that mean? Why are you just being so generic? What does that mean? And he catches on to it. Thank God we got Phil in that room. He hasn't got a question in a while. Well, he's doing his damn job today, and he's damn good at it, folks. Let's see Phil Wegmann doing a fabulous job here.
Great. I have a couple of questions here, but I wanted to follow up quickly. You have said repeatedly that the president's lawyers did the right thing, but you also said earlier during the briefing of the president's lawyers immediately reaching out to the National Archives that, quote, they were not compelled to do it. They did it voluntarily. Is it the position of the White House that legally the president could have just held on to these?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they did the right thing, period. I wouldn't read into it. I'm saying that they did the right thing and they did it voluntarily, because it is the right thing to do when you find these types of documents, to indeed reach out to the archivists and reach out to the Department of Justice. So they, and outside of that, they have been cooperating very closely with the Department of Justice. It is and rightfully so, they did this.
But I guess I'm just a little confused and I want to move on. But what did you mean when you said that they, were not compelled to do it?
They did it. They did the right thing.
Okay.
That's it. I wouldn't go down into a rabbit hole on this. They did the right thing by reaching out to the archivists and to the Department of Justice.
Does the White House know how?
It's smart for Phil to move on here, because he catches on and he's not going to get his question answered. So he's going to move on to another one, try to get as many as he can out there, which I actually think is a great idea, because again, he listens to what's happening with everybody else and going, look, I'll give it another shot, and then we're going to move on here. So I think it's a great idea.
When he stops these classified documents made before they ended up in his home in Delaware or in the Biden pen office, for instance, can you rule out that there was a third stop between a secure location and the garage?
Again, I would refer you to Department of Justice.
I want to pause there, you guys, because that is a crafty way he's doing this, is because yesterday's press briefing, it was asked, are there any other documents anywhere else? He phrased it differently. It's the same question, but he phrased it differently of, hey, you know what? Was there another stop maybe that was conducted by whoever were doing these investigations, whether it's the DOJ, FBI, whoever it actually may be, because hell, we don't really know, folks. We know nothing here. So he phrased it in a way of like, maybe there was more documents out there that we're not being told about because they withheld it before. Same answer she gave the day before, same answer she's given today. While she's going to say she's being transparent, there could be more documents out there, you guys. We'll have to wait and see here. Great question. Let's move on.
There was a question that was asked about the visitor logs with regards to folks who have come in and out of the president's home in Delaware. Does the administration have any idea between the garage and the Biden pen office just how many people could have gotten their hands on this? Or, are we to assume that the White House doesn't have an estimate? That they
There's
don't
an
have?
ongoing review on this, and I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Okay, and then, just finally, the president has said that his lawyers have advised him not to ask what was in these classified documents. I don't understand the purpose of that. He's the president of the United States. He has access
Because
to all
we're trying to
classified
do this by the book. We're trying to do this in the appropriate way. And so that's what I would say to you. His team has been complying, right, cooperating with the Department of Justice, and I will leave it there. I'm not going to go beyond.
The book says that he can't look at this. What would compel him or push him in that direction? Because you've said it repeatedly. What, I guess, as he tries to do this by the book, as he tries to do the right thing, what are his lawyers looking at that says, yeah, don't look at this classified information that was found?
Again, there's a process here. The process is that when the lawyers found that these documents existed, they reached out to the archive and also the Department of Justice. That is the process, and they have been cooperating closely, working closely with the Department of Justice. And now, as you've heard, the Attorney General made a statement today, and so I would refer you to them. All right, everybody.
You guys, did you just hear what I heard? Phil goes, hey, well, what's the process here? Like, what process is stopping the president from seeing these classified documents when he's the president of the United States? Her answer was, well, the process is the process. What? What? That's your answer? That's $180,000 a year answer? What do you mean the process is the process? So he's trying to figure out what in the process allows him within that process to not see those classified documents, and you're going to say that it's just the process. Oh my God. I told you this is one of the craziest press briefings that we have yet to cover since we've been doing the show. Tell me this isn't worthy of sending to your friends and family, folks. Tell me this is not worthy of a subscribe. We try to do it all for you here, folks. We try to bring you the stuff you need to know about. There's a lot more into this, you guys. There's a lot more that can be uncovered here because, boy, oh boy, there's a lot they aren't telling you. They got everybody zipping it, tight-lipped. There's a lid on it. Man, oh man, we'll see what actually comes out of this. We'll see if the reporters don't let up because the cycles are so quick. Support us by hitting that like and subscribe button, leaving us a comment down below. Leave us multiple if you want. Hell, we want to advance here. We want to grow here at the Ball Brad Show and get the truth out to people because Lord knows they need the truth because some people are listening to this lady as if she is giving the truth. Folks, I will see you tomorrow here on the Ball Brad Show.